Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neurodiverse Vessel Says. I'm your host, John Navarro. And boy, was AAA really good this week. We had a surprising turn. A group turned on one of their members. We found out some matches for AAA Ola de Calor next week. That's really good. I feel like the show is going to be really good. We didn't get no matches announced, but this week we got a lot of the matches announced. So we had things in place. And we got some big news that a wrestler did get suspended due to their actions, almost taking out the GM. So a lot of drama before Galore. So before we do, please like, comment, subscribe, and now let's get on to the Lucha action because it is a lot to cover. So we start off with Galeno versus Omos, the big guy feud that's been going on for a long time. It kind of blew up in this match because Galeno tried everything to take down the monster and Omos, but Omos was too powerful, wrecking him with slams like it's nothing. Back-to-back slams, at least 4 to 5 slams like it's nothing. Galeno bounced back with a DDT, a grounded DDT, and then a frog splash, tried everything. But pretty much almost took it to the outside, demolishing him. Using steel steps, kind of ended it in a no DQ. As security needed to break it up, Ray tries to calm things down, but Omos almost attacks Rey Mysterio, the GM, almost slamming him into steel steps. Everyone needs to come out. Even Dirty Dominic needs to calm him down, but that does not work. And Ray needs to literally tell Omos if he does choke him out and slam him, he will get suspended. So pretty much Omos let go of Rey Mysterio, but we see what happens later in the show. And I definitely see this being part of Omos' storyline. And I kind of like it, especially because we find out that next week we're going to get Dom and Americano doing the contract signing. I'm going to talk about that as well, but I feel like we're going to get a lot of messiness leading into this mega championship down the line. Then after all the chaos settles, we kind of have La Toxicas checking on their boss, making sure he's okay. But we also have Flammer saying that does she have any matches for Calor next week? And as well as she's not going to fight at Triplemania because she feels like she defeated everyone in the locker room, and why does she have to? She's the longest Reina de Reinas champion, and what is the point? And Rey Mysterio says, well, we're going to do a gauntlet next week at Galore, and the winner will face you at Triplemania, because he feels like the women's locker room at least deserves a chance to be showcased at Triplemania. And Flammer's not happy about it, but she says, okay, whatever. This is going to be really interesting, and I'm not surprised if next week, because it is the same day as NXT, we do get some NXT girls making some surprise appearances. And I will be kind of interested if maybe one NXT girl maybe wins the gauntlet to face Flammer at Triplemania. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think this would be a gauntlet to look out for next week for Galore. Then we had a fatal 4-way match with LWO, Psycho Circus, Money Machine, and Los Americanos in one hell crazy tag team match to see who will face War Raiders at Galore. And pretty much right away, Cruiser, Terror, and Rhino was going back and forth like no tomorrow. And both men didn't want to sit down, so Joaquin and Cruz do what they do best. They cheat, lie, steal. I love it, LWO. Joaquin got in everyone's faces, doing his alter ego, saying that he's the best. All of them get in their face. So Psycho Circus came in running around. It was pure chaos, everyone in and out the ring. Then Monster Clown, Killer Clown, was trying to take out Rhino and Bravo by himself. Pretty funny segment. The Money Machine was just flying all over the place. Just a chaotic match. Everyone just going back and forth. But Los Americanos was able to get the win out of nowhere. And a pretty quick but entertaining match. And they will face War Raiders at Galore. Really interesting that they won. And due to War Raiders being a dominant team, I really do see War Raiders getting a win. But we never know. Americanos could get a surprise win out of nowhere. Then we find out the rest of the matches for Galore next week, Ola de Calor. So the mystery man does have a name, El Cavon, like El Carnivore, but in Spanish. Really good name for him. And he will be debuting next week. He's been currently attacking Psycho Clown, so that's good that Rey Mysterio gives him a debut match. As well as we do find out about the women's gauntlet, but he does reinstate that. As well as Los Americanos versus War Raiders, and then he also does say that Omos is suspended because he does not want this going into Triplemania, especially Galore next week, because next week Dominic and Americanos are going to do their contract signing, and he wants no funny business. And I definitely do see this leading into funny business, especially because Triplemania is a couple weeks after this event. I'm not surprised somehow if Omos shows up next week or in the next couple weeks in AAA. But I feel like this is going to lead into a bigger storyline. Then we had one hell of a match. So we have Penta versus Bronco in a pretty good matchup. Because Bronco just beats the hell out of Penta. Beating the legendary luchador even before the match began. Because he knew he needed to get the upper advantage. But out of nowhere, Penta just kind of demolishes him. Super kicking the hell out of his into next week. Beating him up with Lucha style, smooth Lucha moves, and hitting a Penta Destroyer for the win, and then a roll-up, pretty quick match. After, Penta is waiting for Daga's response, because Daga said if he won the match, he wants Penta to consider Jordan Los Perros, but instead of Daga saying for Penta to reconsider to join, they just attack Bronco and beat the living out of him. Because Daga and them have a new tactic. If you lose, you're out of the group. They all scream at him. I love how the girls are like, you're a piece of garbage. How dare you lose? You make us look weak. Carmen screams, how dare you? You're pathetic. And I love how Daga's like, if you're weak, you make us lose, you're out of the group. This is not how Los Perros are. Perros are deadly killers. You looked it so weak out there. They beat him the hell up, break out a steel chair, beat him up. Carmen hits her deadly kick. They get in his face, call him useless, throw him out the ring. I love this. It's like dogs in a scrapyard. The best dog is going to win. I love this tactic. And then they tell Penta, welcome to the team. Like, hey, you took out one of our weakest links. Now you're a part of the team. Penta did not like that because Perros del Mal, when they first started, whoever joined their team, they was like family. Penta did not like this new tactic that Daga does him with the group. Because Perros was not really like that at all as a faction. And Penta tells Daga in a way, like, not grabbing the t-shirt, throwing it on the floor, walking away. Like, I do not like what you're doing with what was the faction. Daga saw it as a sign of disrespect because they used to be a part of this faction. Daga's now the leader. Penta threw the t-shirt and said, no, I do not respect the way that you are leading this group. So the group attacks Penta, beating the hell out of him, screaming at him, how dare you disobey Daga? This is so disrespectful to Los Perros. But Penta had backup in Fénix and Dragon Lee. We had a good lucha brawl. And Penta and Dragon Lee and Fénix does say Galore, they want a 6-man tag against La Gurzas and Daga. I'm really happy about this, and it's really shocking the way that they booked this. I did not expect them to turn on Bronco this quickly. I did have a feeling like he was going to go back to OTM, go back to Lucius. It was going to be something like that. I didn't expect it to go this route. Very interesting, especially because all three of these men are in the semi-final, like near, like in like the second round of the World Heavyweight Tournament. So like, what did this mean? Does Los Perros show up soon to the Mexico part of the tournament? Because like, whoever makes it, Dragon Lee, Fénix, or Penta, they kind of just pissed off Los Perros. So the dogs are going to be watching the World Heavyweight Championship match very closely more than ever now. Because Penta and everyone else kind of just made Daga mad. So it's not just they're coming after the bloodline, they're coming after whoever made them mad. So this is more interesting now for the match in Mexico for the world title for WWE. I don't think they're coming just for Roman. They're coming for whoever disrespected them. So either it's Penta, Dragon Lee or Rey Fénix, whoever's in that main event, better be careful as well, because I feel like they are going to attack them as well. I'm not surprised if Bedrolls come and demolish that main event to make a statement, especially after the so-called disrespect that Penta did to them. It's going to start a chain reaction. I can just see it. I love the way AAA is booking, and I cannot wait to see what goes on next week. Especially for Galore, that's my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for more Lucha action.